Abigail Blackrick. Today we're in Cheboygan and I'm speaking with Matthew Friday, Executive Director of the Cheboygan Area Chamber of Commerce. Matthew, Cheboygan has quite the history and current standings in using the waterways, and it kind of plays an important role in Cheboygan. Tell us about the history involved with that.
A lot of how Cheboygan came to be what it is today is directly dependent on the water. We're situated right on Lake Huron and, of course, on the beautiful inland waterway as well. So from our earliest days right up to the present, water has played a huge role in who we became and who we are.
And so with the waterways, it kind of developed an industry related to logging, much like many northern Michigan towns. And with that logging industry, it kind of played a role in American history as well. Can you enlighten me on that?
Absolutely. Cheboygan settlement first began in the mid-1840s or so and really ramped up in the 1850s and 1860s. And to understand that, you have to look at what was happening in the United States as a whole at that time. And the American nation was literally expanding westward. And with that came an insatiable demand for lumber. And northern Michigan, being in this vast expanse of virgin white pine, meant that we had the resources necessary to build the American nation. And like many communities up here, we were settled because of lumber. But what gave Cheboygan a particularly advantageous position was the fact that we were on Lake Huron, so big schooners could get out of here loaded with lumber and head to Chicago or Detroit or wherever the lumber was needed. But what also set us apart was our location on the inland waterway, which meant that timber could be harvested farther inland and then floated down to the lumber mills right here in Cheboygan.
And so when the logging industry kind of died down, especially around the Great Depression, how did that affect the Cheboygan community?
Well, again, like a lot of communities up here, when the lumber ran out, this source of green gold that was supposed to last forever, that spelled trouble for a lot of communities up here. The lumber barons closed up their mills and they went other places, either west to Minnesota, Wisconsin, or up into Canada. And as a result of that, people have to find work, so they're going to go to where the jobs are. At that time, the auto industry was starting to become a major force in Michigan's economy, and so a lot of people from this area went down to work in the auto industry as well. So yeah, rapid depopulation, especially in the teens and 20s, followed the decline of the lumber industry.
That makes sense. So how has the industry changed throughout Cheboygan since then? What's your guys' primary industry now?
Well, now we're sort of a mixed bag. Tourism is, of course, extremely important to our region. We're surrounded by such beautiful natural assets, not just in the summer. The summer is, of course, the most popular time, but we've got some fantastic assets here in the winter as well. But Cheboygan is sort of a mixed bag because not only do we have that, but we're much more of a year-round community as well. There's some manufacturing here with Great Lakes Tissue, Riba Marine Construction, DeRocher Cocosing. Plus, we also have a number of retail places as well. So it's more of a year-round destination. Still extremely popular in the summer, and of course our population swells in the summer. But it's a fantastic year-round community as well.
Speaking of the summer and tourism, you guys have a yearly festival, the Waterways Festival. Tell me about that.
Every July, second weekend in July, we have a festival that celebrates our heritage on the water and incorporates a lot of different things from canoe and kayak races to, of course, live music, beer tent, all around good times. But we also have a kids' day as well, so fun and games for the kids. Lots of different activities. We're going to have a few changes this year, but it's always a great time and always a great time to be in Cheboygan.
Great. And lastly, you guys in the next couple of years are going to see another change in industry based on the waterways with the Port of Cheboygan. What's that?
The Port of Cheboygan project has been ongoing for about 5 years and really ramped up last year with the city's purchase of about 1,400 foot of frontage on the Cheboygan River right near the mouth of Lake Huron. And this was property that had sat vacant for a very long time. But now a couple of the major marine construction companies are interested in purchasing substantial portions of that. But the whole premise is that that property is to be used for job creation. And we have some industrial entities that are interested in coming to Cheboygan simply because of the ease of access via the Cheboygan River. The river was dredged last year to accommodate larger ships coming in and out. So it's not a project that's going to happen overnight, but there's some very exciting things in the not too distant future.
Great. Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you.
In Cheboygan, a city truly built on waterways. I'm Abigail Blackrick with My News 26.